for a quick update. So, I was going to do a quick calculation. So, let's say my transplant was done on June 20th. So, today's October. So, I think we're definitely at the 4 month mark. I think December is my 6 months. So, pretty good. I've been home now for over three because I was in the hospital like 2 weeks after my transplant. So that's good. I'm eating. That's good. I've gained weight. That's good. Um, the gaining weight and the eating has caused me to have a lot more energy. So I get a little bored a little easier. I'm working on my puzzle and my writing. It seems like sometimes people expect that my writing I should be able to do more. Sometimes I get a little bit of pressure from a couple of my members of Patron, but I don't think people realize I'm not a writer that just can sit down and poof, make things happen. I have to it comes to me. It's like, oh, I'll do that. And I have the idea. I let the idea go through my head a little bit and I kind of think about it and kind of write the story or at least have the idea. And then I sit down and write. Once you write, then you have to go through it because sometimes I haven't edited it and I should have. And then processing it and I do an audio file for it and I put it on Patron and then um, so posting it takes a little bit of time and I'm not going to take any pressure to write more poems because they're going to start not being good. I would rather write less and have those mean something and be good and be enticing than write more and then they're just kind of like, wow, that's what you wrote last week, or something like that. I want the stories to be different. I want there's some things that can be the same. I mean, sex sometimes is the same. There's certain things with sex that are going to happen. So, but they're fun to write, and I'm having a good time with it. I'm kind of considering doing a book, and we'll see how that works. But I don't know yet. But I'm starting to get a little bit antsy. I may try to do some kind of classes online or something, maybe to see. I know that there is scholarships available for cancer survivors for schools, so maybe I'll check into that. Um, just it's nice to use those resources, even if I just do a couple of online classes to help me get some kind of certification. So it'll be easier for me to find a job once this is kind of over. Whoa! Almost dropped my phone. Once this is kind of over, or it's gonna be a long time before it's over. But so I wanted to I'll do a really quick explanation too, because see, I still can't do yard work. I can do housework, which I do a little bit of. It's just me at home, so it doesn't get real bad. I kind of clean up as I go, but um, I'm not still not supposed to do yard work. It has to do with the little spores and the weeds and the things and inhaling them. So they've told me I can't pull weeds or do any yard work. So and I have to be careful too, and I have to remember that if they don't want me doing yard work, going out and walking on a windy day is probably not a good idea either. I know that I'm supposed to wear a mask if there's someone doing yard work by me or I'm walking around or by someone doing yard work. So I know I'm supposed to wear a mask for that. So I probably should take one on my walk, but it's really hard to walk for exercise and wear a mask at the same time because it kind of just gets really, um, I don't know, it gets kind of wet from the humidity of your breathing, of your breath. So it just kind of stinks. But I forget to, and my immune system, all my counts are good, and for the most part, if I were to go in and get a blood test and match someone that's healthy and has been healthy, my counts would be really close to yours. I mean, if not right on, real close. So those are good, and those tell us that the transplant is taking and it's growing. I mean, my system is growing. However, I have to remember that my immune system is only 4 months old. Um, it's a baby. I mean, and on top of that, my stem cells came from umbilical cords. So they are babies. They're true babies. And no one was hurt doing this. They were placentas that were, um, what do you call, donated after birth. So no one had to do anything weird to get to these. So I don't want you to think that it was just, and by the way, if you're a female and they ask you to um, give your placenta, there's a lot of things that it does, and stem cells do a lot more. However, they're huge for leukemia transplant. Stem cells, it can't be done without them, but there's a lot of other things that stem cells are doing. And when there isn't a donor, like I could not get my mom or my sister or my daughter to donate to me because I had antibodies that fought those, that fought them. So if I would have, it wouldn't have been good. I would have probably lost my life if I would have had them as donations. So I had to go with someone I didn't know, but to me, having an umbilical cord with the youth of it, I felt like that would be stronger. So I did a double one, and they were double umbilical cords. So it was kind of a new procedure they were doing. I actually was part of a, what do you call it? Having, because they do two sets. So when you get, um, and when you get a transplant, you get one set of stem cells, and then the next, like later in the afternoon, you get the other set. I think it was later in the afternoon. But what they're trying to do is you have one set that kind of keeps you healthy, kind of helps you while the other set is setting, so to speak. So one eventually kind of goes away and the other one takes over. But one kind of keeps you from getting really sick while the other one is settling and growing. So it's like a 6 week or 3 week thing. It's not very long, but they're both very important. So anyway, if you know that. So yeah, I just have to wait for it to grow up. Now, after a year after my transplant, I will have all my immunizations done again. I didn't even think about that. I have to have all my shots done. Uh, I'll have some done after a year and some done after 2 years. So that's quite something uh, that I didn't think about. So I have to do, I mean, my whooping cough, my measles, my everything. I mean, it has to be all redone. Um, I did get a flu shot, so I don't get sick. I'm supposed to have everyone in my family is supposed to get one, and my daughter, I need to get her to do that. Um, the nurse said it's better that way. I mean, it's like double coverage, so to speak. If someone else gets the flu, I mean, yeah, there's a good chance I won't get it after having the flu shot, but you don't, it's just safer if everybody's had the flu shot and then no one gets sick. But regardless, I'm not that concerned. You know, you can't, I mean, I worry and I'm careful, and I have, bacterial stuff for my hands regularly. I use it. I watch if I'm in the grocery store and I see someone coughing a lot, or in a restaurant, if people are coughing behind me or something, I I actually will move. You don't know, I have to be careful because flying spit's not very healthy. And if I get sick, it's not just a matter of getting a cold or a flu, it's a matter of going to the hospital probably, for a couple days or 3 days, and then they have to culture your blood to make sure that what you have is curable, and um, they have to give you antibiotics if it calls for that. I have to be careful because the last thing you want to do, I mean, it's one thing to be held up in bed when you have a fever or a cold or the flu, but having to be held up in the hospital is a whole different ball game. So I am very careful. My health has become extremely important to me. I never thought I would get this, much less. So now I know I have to be a little bit more careful. I never would have thought I would have gotten leukemia. I mean, never. So I still have this little, scares me a little bit because I think if I didn't think I was going to get that and I got that, what could else happen? But I can't worry about it. I mean, all I can do is take care of myself now. Leukemia would have struck if I took care of myself or not. It didn't, it held no prisoners. I mean, it's just a fluke. It's not genetic. It's not something you do to cause it. It just kind of happens. So, it's not like a choice, but I mean, things are going much better. Like I said, obviously, I think you can tell that my energy level's up, and it's good. Well, it's good. I mean, I still have days where I get lonely, I get bored, I get sad, but it's less and less, and so that's good. I'll be able to start doing more too, getting out a little bit. And it's coming up on winter, so it's going to be hard, but I'm going to ask the doctor if I can shovel snow so I can do something. I know I'm driving myself crazy here. So, and I need to do more journaling or something. I don't know. Do more writing, but do writing of a different kind. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll figure it out. So, take care, and I'll talk to you again in a little while. Thanks.